I am Kathleen Roca of Marshfield, Wisconsin, and I'm here with Michelle Kaplan. Michelle has done an amazing job organizing this event for today. It's another compilation of We the People gathering in unity here at Wenzel Plaza in Marshfield, Wisconsin, to stand up for democracy, to stand up for veterans, to stand up for Medicaid, and for all the other rights that we appreciate and support here in the United States.
I'd like to add, in addition to that, this particular event is really focused on the fact that here in the United States of America, we don't have kings. We have a president who's an elected official who is he's supposed to serve us, we the people. He is not to lord over everybody and just do whatever he wants and ignore the other two branches of government. We need to put a stop to that. So that's what this is for, along with protesting all of the rights and services being taken away from we the people. And our organization, we just have like a Facebook group, Facebook page called We the People of Marshfield, Wisconsin. I'm not the only one who organized. We have other people that have put in a lot of time and effort as well. And we're always looking for more people to help us. If you can be dedicated.
And I think it does take dedication and commitment. It also takes time, and that's why we do it together, because together we are stronger. You know, we have so many people in our cohort who are young, working full time and raising children. And we have a lot of elders in our community as well who cannot walk as far as others can. And so we try to accommodate everyone because we are community. We do gather people together, and we do stand up for our Constitution, and we want to, have our voice heard.
One last thing, this is a nonpartisan group. We welcome anyone of any political persuasion that is wanting to protest against what's happening in our world today.
Because it all comes down to values, right? And so people who have common values, who are concerned about their community, their neighbors, and how things are going in our country, we stand together. We stand with each and every one of you because together we are stronger, and we want to make sure that we have a collective voice and that we stand, united, because we are the United States of America with a Constitution, not a king.
Welcome, everyone. Everyone who believes that we should not have a king in the United States of America. Yes. Please gather around close so that we can make sure everybody in the world knows that we all decided to gather here today. I represent We the People of Marshfield, Wisconsin. You can find our Facebook page, We the People of Marshfield, Wisconsin, and that way you can follow for additional protests. If you agree to let us take your picture, we will post it on there too. And my name is Michelle Kaplan, and this is my husband Aaron, and we also have a musical group we call Aeroshell, and we are going to perform some songs for you today to get us all going. And after that, we are going to have a speaker, Brian Ewart, and then if we have time before we go out to veterans, I'd like to invite other people that want to have something to say. No more than 5 minutes, and you will want to let me know what you're going to talk about first. So after we're done performing, you can find me and let me know about that, and then we'll try to see if we can get you a chance to talk, okay? Then at about 2, we're going to go out there on veterans, and we are going to make everybody see our signs, make our voices heard, and hopefully, we'll make some change in the world. Woo! Yeah! Okay, so we're going to perform now. So this is For what it's worth, Buffalo Springfield. There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I've got to beware. Think it's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. It's time to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs, mostly saying hooray for our side. It's time to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Paranoia strikes deep into your life, it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, the man comes to take you away. It's time to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. All right, if you guys want to sing with us on this one, feel free. It's I Shall Not Be Moved. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved on the way to freedom. I shall not be moved on the way to freedom. I shall not be moved like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved on the way to justice. I shall not be moved on the way to justice. I shall not be moved like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved on the way to equality. I shall not be moved on the way to equality. I shall not be moved like a tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved. tree that's planted by the water. I shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
Well, thank you to all of you and all of us for showing up. This is clearly the first step in preserving democracy, is that we, the people, show up and express our voices. So give all of us a round of applause. Well, this whole idea of no kings, it starts with the Declaration of Independence. Now, it turns out there is a copy of it hanging in the White House, and the current occupant of the White House was asked what it meant by a reporter who was trying to throw a softball question. And after some fumbling, the occupant of the White House said, well, it's about unity and love and respect, isn't it? Well, 1 out of 3 is right. It is about respect. It's about respect of the governed and being respected by those who are serving. But certainly, if you read the fine print and even the big print of the Declaration, you know it is not about unity and love. It is a long treatise about the problems with kings and all the bad things that kings are doing, particularly one King George, and why it was necessary to sever the relationship with him. It was about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It was about the governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. That would be all of us. Well, of course, then we had a long war. And afterwards, it came about needing to now, having gotten thrown off the shackles of the king, it was time to create a government. And to the credit of the authors, James Madison, Thomas Jefferson, and the others, they had not forgotten their lofty ideals of when they threw off the shackles of the king. And they started off with the we the people. And here we are, as we the people. And they recognized it was not lost on them how easily governments could slip into tyranny, and how if people are given power, they will tend to abuse power. And so they made a desperate attempt to set up a balance so that all points of power were checked by other points to protect us, so that the governed continued to offer their consent to those who were governing. And so they set it up so that one person could not control the military, because they knew that that tyrant would then use that to the tyrant's whim. But they also set up a very strong judiciary, because it is critical, because the judiciary is what protects all of us. Anyone who is weak or marginalized can have their day in court and be before a judge and be before a jury of their peers. So it is critical to have a strong judiciary that protects the rights of all of us, protects the rights of the governed. And they set up a very strong Congress who did have the power of the money and had the power over the military. And then they got around to the president. It turns out the president is really there to serve. Again, the current occupant might not like it, but it turns out the president is really the help. And the job is to serve all of us as the governed. It is not to lord it over us. It is not to try and be king. It is to say, what can I do to effectively implement the will of the people? So the role of the president is to serve, not to be served. Now, there's a crucial principle of this which has come into the news, and you may have heard it. It's called habeas corpus. Even by the time I went to school, we didn't have to take Latin anymore, so most of us aren't quite up to date on our Latin. But it turns out it's a principle that goes back about 1,000 years, when people first started saying, you know what, kings can sometimes get out of hand, and kings need to have some constraints. And so they came up with this concept of habeas corpus. Like I say, if you don't know what it means, that's okay. It turns out even the Secretary of the Homeland Security doesn't know what it means, and it's her job to know what it means. So, you know, we can get a pass, like I say, if you're not up to date on your Latin. But what it literally means is you must have the body. What that is that the judge is saying to the executive branch, bring me the person who you have arrested, because that person has rights to have their day in court. And it is the key right that underlies all the other rights. When you lose habeas corpus, everything else disappears, because then the tyrant, the king, can throw you in the dungeon and is not required to prove why they threw you in the dungeon and can leave you there. So kings don't like habeas corpus. It gets in the way of when they want to trample on the rights of the governed. But that's why it is so critical. It means that's why it's so critical to protect all of us in our community from the excesses of tyrants and kings, because it cuts the judiciary out of the balance. It was so important that Madison and Jefferson actually put it into the body of the Constitution. It's the only right that we have that's actually in the body of the Constitution. The rest of them come in the amendments. It is so important because they recognize that without this right, none of the other rights matter. And the only way it can ever be put on hold is for Congress to take action. It is not up to the president, who is there to serve us. So in our current time, for those of us who have been paying a reasonable amount of attention, we recognize that the judiciary has for the most part been holding up their end of the bargain of the balance of power. And it is really what has made all the difference in the last, since January 20th, is the judiciary stepping in to protect us. Congress, not so much. Clearly, Congress has abdicated their role, that they're the ones who are supposed to set tariffs. They're the ones who have been derelict in their responsibility to enact skillful immigration laws, because it is through immigration that American communities like Marshfield and central Wisconsin are strong and grow and thrive. The economy is strong and the community is strong. Speaking as a physician, I can tell you, if we don't have immigrants, we don't have medical care in central Wisconsin. So we need skillful immigration laws. Congress has abdicated their role. They have also neglected to speak out when habeas corpus was challenged, because it's in their job description, not in the president's. And they have also now been neglecting their duty to govern the military and to say that they decide when the military should be deployed. Again, not the president. Now this week, we have witnessed the executive branch of our government intimidating members of Congress. And this led to an impassioned speech by Senator Murray, who is the senator from the state of Washington. She's been in the Senate for 32 years. And she concluded her remarks with, "We use our voices, we use our votes." Senator Murray is exactly right. None of us can afford to be quiet, because we can lose this democracy if we don't take steps to protect it. So today we peacefully assemble. Today we exercise our right of free speech. Today we use our voices. But 2026 is coming, and we need to commit to using our votes. For those of us who have the ability to financially help candidates, we need to help candidates financially. It's an expensive undertaking to run for office. For those of us who have some spare time, we commit our time to volunteer, to the point of even volunteering and doing some things that might be a bit beyond our zone of comfort, but that's what makes the difference. And if you have friends and family, talk to them and make sure your friends and family understand the importance of voting in 2026, because demonstrating and raising our voices is one way to influence, but clearly in the United States we have this truly honorable responsibility to choose the leaders and to give them our consent through the ballot box. So we all know that with every election, none of us gets everything we want. However, we are here today to exercise our rights as the governed for all of us receiving what we deserve. That would be life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Darlene Berry. I am a former 8th grade English teacher and former Spanish teacher at that same level. I'm here for many reasons. The biggest reason I'm here is because as an 8th grade teacher, I often, annually, taught the Diary of Anne Frank. As I prepared my students to read the Diary of Anne Frank, we always did a little background information. I talked to them about the rise of dictatorships and fascism. I talked to them about the political unrest and instability and the financial issues that were impacting Germany at the time. They're just kids. You know, they didn't really always get it, but I gave them a little 10-point quiz. And ultimately, when we learned the fate of Anne Frank, every year, in every class, someone would ask, how could this happen? How could it end up so badly? And my response to them was always, good people stood by and did nothing. So I'm here because I don't want to be a person who stands by and does nothing. Now, as a Spanish teacher, I'm often called upon to try to help our immigrant neighbors. And so I also know that a lot of what's happening with our immigration situation is people are coming here because they want to have a better life. And I feel like it is my responsibility and our responsibility to show them what America can be for everyone. Woo! Finally, as an English teacher, you can bet every single day I did a little bit of etymology. And Brian, I'm here to give today's Latin lesson. For those of you who don't know, or maybe are curious, if you do the etymology of the word Trump, it goes way, 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 way back. Every deck of cards has 2 of them, but Trump traces its roots to the word fool or joker. So the next time you're playing cards, take a look at that. Or think about, anytime you see that word, we've got a lot to take care of at the top levels of our office because we don't need to be fooled anymore. I see some wonderful signs out there, and it makes me extremely happy to see the depth of participation today. It looks like we've got some elementary school kids, looks like we have a few teenagers, and it looks like we've got some people who are using walkers and really feeling strongly about what's going on here. So thank you all for coming. Oh, and be kind and choose love. Today is the United States Army's 250th birthday. Woo! Yeah. All right, anybody else? What was that? Oh, and it's Flag Day. That's right. Thank you for bringing your flags. Everybody, yep, the flag that belongs to us because we're Americans. Yeah. Oh, yeah, come on. All right. Agencies that we don't contribute to anymore.
Hi, I just came back from Tibet, which may have given me an idea of... I just came back from Tibet, which may have given me an idea of what authoritarianism is at its worst. They have no crime, they have no violence, but everybody is being watched. And I was being watched just to be there. Now, I'm a doctor, a retired doctor, and I worked for World Health Organization. We no longer fund that. I worked for USAID. Mind you, both of these agencies are just wonderful with their goal to help people. That's all they're about. When I was in Tibet, people said to me, "What happened to Radio Free America?" You know, this is something that we're really missing in this world due to our president. And I worked for years for Indian Health Service. Now, they haven't had cutbacks yet, but they do have to prove their allegiance to the presidency. Now, I took a vow to the Constitution. I want that to be what all U.S. government workers vow to, and none of this searching their backgrounds. I don't think I could have gotten my job back then. Anyway, good to see all you guys here. It's really charming. Thank you so much.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the ghosting waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that criminal highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. Well, I roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond desert, while all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the ghosting waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign it said, no trespassing. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. That sign was made for you and